Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. And this is part 3 of Roxanne. She is in my Etsy shop right now. You can get her there. There's a link to that in the description box down below the video. I am working on Spring Hill Digital 90 pound. It feels thinner to me than 90 pound, but that's what the package says, so it's there. I'm sure it's right. And I am using Polychromos for her hair. So as you can probably tell, for me personally, using these oil-based pencils takes me a little bit long to get stuff done than it does when I'm using my Prismas. But that's okay. I'm learning to embrace the layering process and just enjoy it. So before we get started, if you would be so kind to give this video a thumbs up. I know sometimes we forget, but it really makes a huge difference for me and is a great way to easily support my channel and all that good stuff. So, all right, I am going, let's see, on the last video, I already used the indenting tool. I'm just going to call it an indenting tool. It's just one of these little tools that has the little balls on the end. And when you buy them, they come in sets of lots of different sizes. So you can pick a size that you like the best. I tried that as a to see how it would go. It's not my most favorite technique in the whole wide world, but again, it's a technique that I don't use very often, and maybe I just need to get better at it. But basically, it indents the paper so that the pencils go over the surface and leave the indentations light or, whatever color is underneath. So I'm going to start with Ivory. And we'll just see how it goes. Then we have burnt ochre. And let's do some Venetian Red. Then we'll do some India Red. Let's see, I've got some hairs out here that I want to make sure I cover. Trying to decide. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this all the way in. I was I was debating on having that be like her part, or her, kind of scalp showing there, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cover that. All right, I think I do want to use some Caput Mortem. I'm thinking that I might want to cover up some of this, some more of this, this really light bit in here almost just looks a little bit too light to me. So I'm just going to put a little bit more color there, maybe a little bit more burnt ochre. And always, it definitely takes me longer to get to where I'm happy with things when I'm using polys. And again, that's just because I started with Prismas, so I do pretty well with all the waxed-based pencils. But the oil-based pencils, when used alone, always seem to just take a little bit more work for me to get to where I want to be. I love using them in conjunction with my Prismas. They work great for adding additional colors and stuff like that, All right, I'm gonna move on, and I can always add more if I feel like I need it as I continue on. So back to Ivory. In fact, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and we'll at least come down to here, maybe. Okay. Burnt ochre. Venetian Red. India Red. Mortem. I think I'm going to put a little bit more burnt ochre on here before I start adding the walnut brown. Just going to kind of glaze it over the All right, let's do some walnut brown. Try and get this. I might actually need black more than I need this walnut brown. Do some more up here. I think we're going to need black. Okay, breaking out the black. Some up here too. And actually, while I'm here and I see it, I'm going to put some on over here as well. And again, because I'm here and I see it, I'm going to darken some of these. Some of these highlights are just a little bit too bright for me. So I'm actually going to use Caput Mortem, I think, for that. I don't have to go crazy, but just darken a little bit. It's still not quite as dark as I think I want. So I'm going to keep working it a little bit here. I'm missing the darks on this one as compared to when I did it the first time on the Desert Storm paper. There's a lot more darks. And I actually like it better. Be careful. I can tend to get carried away with my flicking. I don't want to do that. I think I want to try and be a little bit more precise where I'm putting the darker color. It's a little bit better. Her hair is a little bit more red than the ginger color that my original was. So I'm wondering if I throw some burnt ochre, more burnt ochre over the top, if that will... That's helping. The nice thing about these polys is they glaze really nicely. In fact, I have been working on some animals, Tim Jeff's animals, actually, because sometimes it's just fun to play. A girl just wants to play and color, and so I bought several of his books recently, and I've been having a lot of fun with them. But I'm discovering that, and I knew this already, but I'm kind of relearning it. Oh, I like that. I like that side very much better now. So let's do that over here too. I'm relearning it because I was doing it before, and if you get out of practice, you don't think about certain techniques that you maybe had been using. But anyway, my point was I'm relearning that a wax-based pencil like Prisma or Luminance works really nice to establish. I know I'm getting totally off topic of the girl, and maybe I'll do a color along of the Tim Jeff's things, but it just made me think of it. I'm just adding a little bit of Indian red. The wax base works really nice to add the hairs when you're doing fur, to add the hairs in to establish your clumps of hair. And then you come back in with Polychromos over the top of it. And the polys just like glaze the color over. They tint the white. So you can put white down first, glaze over it with the polys, and it tints the color. So, because you don't necessarily want white all the time. Polys work really nice for glazing over wax-based pencils. That was my point. That's where I was going with that. All right, so I'm looking right here, and I'm seeing the scratch marks that I put in there are a little bit too strong. They're a little bit too intense, especially at the top where it starts. And I always like those starting points to be a little bit more subtle. They can get bright as they go out, but where they start, I don't like to have there be just a really bright white line starting there and then coming in. So I just toned that starting point with these couple of scratched or indented highlights. And that softened that starting point a little bit, and that looks better to me. All right, let's work on the bottom section. I'm really happy that I put that extra burnt ochre over the top. That got me much closer to kind of what I was going after. My little Irish lass. She reminds me of like I could totally see her, what's the name? River dancing. Not river dancing. That's not the right word. There's a name for it, though. You know, the Irish, that Irish dancing. I'm so sorry I'm apologizing that my brain is just not thinking of what it's called. But I could totally see her doing that. All right. There's a few other things that I want to make changes on. Something about her eyebrows being red like that are bugging me. I might have to erase and just make those eyebrows brown. Just something, I don't know. I'll have to think about that. Okay, let's go back to the hair. Venetian Red. I think I'm personally just always seem to be dissatisfied with pages that I do on white paper because I'm comparing them to the page that I did on the tan paper, which I should never do, but I can't help myself. And I just feel like I get so much more richness when I do a page on toned tan or any toned paper. It doesn't matter what it is. There just seems to be a richness that I can achieve that I can't seem to achieve on white paper. And that's just user fault. That's just, you know, my techniques, my skills are not geared to using white paper. And it's frustrating because we all get online and we look at, sorry, I got distracted. Let's do some India Red. I might have done that already. I don't know. Get online and look at some people's work, particularly portrait artists, not necessarily colorists, but just watching portrait artists do their portraits and they work on white paper. And I'm just in awe of their talent and their skill and their techniques. And I can never seem to achieve that level of realism and beauty. But that's why I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to still keep breaking out the Caput Mortem. Keep breaking out the white paper occasionally and doing it, because if I don't keep trying, I'll never get there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put the burnt ochre back in here. And then we'll do, maybe we'll go straight for black. No, you know what? I think I'm going to do a little bit of the walnut brown, sorry. So used to using a burnt color. All right, and black. All right, I think I actually want even a little bit more of this burnt ochre. And then I'm going to do Venetian Red, just to try and maybe something darker. Let's go with Walnut Brown. Try and soften that. There we go. Just soften that harsh white mark or light mark where the hair is coming out of the where the highlight is coming out of the hair. All right. So I'm going to try. I always seem to have better luck with this with Prismas, but I think because they're a thicker layer of color, I think a thicker layer of pigment on here, and so that slice tool seems to work a lot better when it's slicing through lots and lots of pigment. I'm looking for my colorless blender, not my colorless blender, my full blender. There's one. I have so many of them, and they're all starting to get short, so I need to maybe break out another one here soon. Okay, I'm actually going to use, if I can find it, I'm actually going to use a Prisma White. Because I'm not satisfied with the scratch marks that I have going on there. Sorry, bear with me, because all my white pencils, for some reason, are somewhere else. All right, hang on. There's got to be one somewhere. I've got Holbein white. I don't want that. Prisma? No, Holbein. Ah, there's one. Okay. It's a brand new one. I'm debating on whether to just. No, I think I'm going to go ahead and sharpen it. Sorry for the loud noise. I know that's really obnoxious. All right, so let's just throw some. again, darken. Oops, barely, just barely in frame, sorry. So again, if you go not with the hair, but slightly parallel, not all the way parallel, just a little bit against the direction of the hair, you're they're going to show up a lot better because they're well, you'll be able to see them a lot better because they're not going with all the other colors of hair. But just, I don't know if you can, how well you can see that, but just in adding those little flicks of white, it's really like, I think made that hair look a lot more natural. So I'm good with that. All right, let me figure out what I want to do about these eyebrows, because there's something about her face that I'm still not completely happy with. And I can show you, I mean, I can show you the original. I guess I'm not really going to be able to zoom out very well, or else the colors are going to change. And I've showed you guys this before, in the difference between the toned paper and the white paper. You're always going to get a brighter look using white paper than you are with the toned paper. There's always because the paper's darker underneath, you're always going to get that little bit more depth naturally, more easily, I should say, with the toned paper. But there's just it's just something, I like this one so much better. Now she's a teeny little bit smaller because when I printed this, I printed it edge to edge, and it kind of made her a little bit bigger than the original did. But her eyebrows, of course, I used Prismas on this, so different colors, but her eyebrows are brown, and I used more of a red on her eyebrows. That's probably not it. I mean, there's probably other things that I'm just having a hard time identifying. I'd love to come in and maybe try and make her skin a little bit richer, but I just don't know. You guys are going to think I'm nuts when I take this burnt ochre. Don't do this. I'm just trying to see what would happen if I use this burnt ochre on her forehead. It almost looks like there's not enough layers yet still on her skin, but good grief, how many, I had so much time into her already. Oh, that was weird. My lights just flickered. All right, you know what, you guys? I'm kind of liking this on here a little. I know I'm completely getting off of what I was doing, but that is how I work. If I see something that I need to fix, I have to fix it right then and there, or else either A, I forget, or B, well, it just, it just bugs me until I finally break down and try and fix it. So I'm just going to try and glaze some of this over the top. Now we used the Derwent Light Fast on her skin, but it's an oil-based pencil. This is an oil-based pencil. So I remember thinking I was running out of tooth a little bit over here, but I can't remember. It's taking it. It's getting a little bit more. It's taking on that golden. cord here. This little camera's probably going to wiggle for a minute. I can get it out of the way. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think I like that. So I'm going to erase her eyebrows a little bit. Careful not to, get it on the skin, because like I did just there, because you'll be bummed trying if you do this, if you decide to do this as well. Okay, erasers. Let's try Walnut Brown. There's still some reddish color in there, but it seems like every time I try and do eyebrows in red, in the reddish tones, like when I'm doing red hair, I never like it. So why I thought I would like it this time, I have no idea. So I like it better already. I'm already happier. So weird. Might have to come in with something else to break that up, because it looks, yeah, the darker eyebrow I think really looks better. I'm gonna come in with some black. I don't know if this is gonna make any difference, but just I'm trying to break up some of that color so it doesn't just look like a solid. Yeah, I'm already happier. Okay, we can move on now. So, all right, so there's the hair done. So now here's the question. The big question. Do I switch to Prismacolors at this point, or do I carry on with Polychromos or the Derwent Light Fast? Oh, I honestly just don't know the answer of what is best to do. I know that I was really happy with the results that I got with the Prismas. And there's a lot of gray, a lot of grayscale in here, because the greens that were used in here are quite dark. And so even the light version of the page is going to have some dark coloring on it. So what I have found is that oil-based pencils do not cover grayscale as well as wax-based pencils, because wax-based pencils are just more opaque. They just are. And so in the layering process and doing stuff, I think we're going to get better results using Prismas. So if you want to continue on using your polys, then by all means just pick a color that's similar and color away and enjoy it. But I am going to say that I'm kind of feeling like I want to do Prismas first, and I'm going to show you how adding white first is going to really brighten up any area that you just kind of feel like is too dark. We're going to do that. So yeah, I think I told a few people that I was going to be doing this whole page in polys, but I've got to say that I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to get better results switching over to Prismas. So let me get those out, and we'll at least start on some of this stuff, and we'll get as far as we can. So I'll be back in a flash. Alrighty, so I have at least some of the colors that I'm going to use pulled out. And I'm hoping that I can get something similar because, you know, even though they do, I do tend to use the same colors, whether I'm doing white or black. I mean, I'm sorry, whether I'm doing white or tan paper, the color of the paper below does affect things a little bit. So hopefully I can get it to do what I want to do. So I'm going to start with white, and I'm going to put a little bit of this white Prisma right here. So the effect that I'm going for is that the dress that she has on is green velvet. It worked on the first one. I don't know how it's going to turn out here. So when I put this little bit of white down here first, and granted, I am putting it on the lighter areas, hopefully what that's going to do is really allow this grass green color to really get much brighter on top of that white, which generally that is what happens. So. Okay, what is... Sorry, I have to look at my little reference photo to see. That's shirt. Oh, this is so weird. Okay, that's the big one. That's the one that goes behind it. This is this one. This is shirt. Okay. That was weird. So this is actually coming out a lot lighter than my than when I did it on the tan paper. So I'm going to break out some black. Well, is that the black I want to use? I don't think it matters. Maybe I'll just use regular Prisma black for this one. So, Prismacolor black. And we're just going to put in some. Maybe if I put more of this on here now. I guess that'll be okay. I think I'm going to use my blender, my Prismacolor colorless blender. And just going to do little swirlies of white on the very top edge. I think that's fine. Let's do this one over here. So I'm going to just put a little bit of white on the highlights. Honestly, I don't think I'm going to need to add any white to lighten things. The way that behaved, I think just going straight in here with this green is going to be good, because I kind of do want it to be a really dark, rich green. So let's see how nice Prismas just cover. I almost want to, I wonder if doing a video comparing Prismas and polys on Greyscale would be a good video. Kind of side by side comparison as far as the different results that we get depending on which pencil you're using. That might be a good video. We can maybe try and see how many layers of Polychromos does it take on Greyscale to get the same rich color. I think that actually is working out okay. Let's do a little bit of black. And maybe a little bit more white. Just when I add the white, I do it in the little swirly movements. It's kind of what I do when I'm trying to do sweaters and fur. To get a soft look, if you do the little swirly bits, it tends to, I think, make things look fluffier and softer. So, all right, I'm good with that. All right, what's next? Oh, here, let's do this right now because that's important. Okay, so we can either, yeah, I'm going to be lazy, guys. I'm sorry. We could either break out those Light Fast pencils again, or I can just take my nectar, because this is skin right here. So let's just use our nectar, because it really looks like that's all that it needs. It kind of looks just like what we had what we have going on here. And I'm laughing right now because I'm thinking to myself, that was one layer of Prismacolor, and to get this exact same color up here is probably like 6 different layers of Light Fast or oil-based pencils. So yes, I'm kind of giggling to myself about that. Whoops, don't color that. That's leaf. We don't want to color that. We want to color this. And this. Just right here. All right. Okay, that worked. I'm debating on continuing on or saving the flowers to be all by themselves. I know that's kind of not what I was. Sorry, I had a little mark there. I don't know what to do. I kind of like to keep things compartmentalized. So maybe I will just stop this video here, and it might take 2 videos to do these flowers. I don't know. But yeah, I think we're gonna wait for the next video for those. But I am really thinking about just from now on loading each video one a day when I'm doing a grouping. So for example, like for her, you know, it would be, just for an example, it would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You'd get the videos, and then there'd be a break between the next one. That way you can color along, and you don't have to wait for me to have another video come along. So I think this is what we'll do. I'm going to stop rambling now, and I'm going to, we're done for today, and I will be back tomorrow, and we will keep on going. So until I see you guys then, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Love to you all. Bye-bye.